Here's a problem about paving a patio with blocks, brick blocks that are 3 inches by 18 inches by 4 inches deep. And that the area to be paved, the patio's total area is 200 square feet. So this would be like a rectangle that is, let's see, 20 feet on one side and 10 feet on the other. So that would have an area, because you multiply the length times the width, of 10 times 20, 200 square feet. So the actual patio might be some sort of irregular shape, but you could think of it as a simple rectangle with dimensions 10 feet by 20 feet. So that's where this 200 square feet comes from. The blocks have a dimension of 3 inches by 18 inches. That's the way it's given in the catalog. And a depth of 4 inches. I don't think the depth of the block is going to have anything to do with my calculation. So that's kind of an extra piece of information that I'm given, but I think that I can disregard it when I do this calculation. Okay, so the question is, how many blocks should I buy? And if I set that problem up in a semi-math statement, it would look like this. How many blocks equals 200 square feet? Because the object what I want to do here is cover this area with blocks that are 3 inches by 18 inches, cover the whole surface. Looking at the units of things, I see that the blocks are measured in inches and the patio is measured in square feet. So I know that I'm going to have to know something about the English unit system, namely that there are 12 inches in 1 foot. And the little symbols, inches, are usually done with this double asterisk, and the foot with a single. Apostrophes, I guess those are. All right, so here's my outline of the problem. I try to think about the problem a little bit and see what I need to do. I need to get square feet turned into the number of blocks. And the puzzle, of course, is the fact that the area in square feet seems to have nothing to do with the inch dimensions of the blocks. So my approach to that is to think of the area of the patio in square inches instead of square feet. And I could change the area of the patio into square inches using the English unit fact that there are 12 inches in a foot. If I squared that conversion factor, that is, I squared everything in the conversion factor, I would come up with a conversion factor between square inches and square feet. So I know that I could do this change, this conversion. Once I get the area of the patio in square inches, by doing that, and if I computed separately the area of the block in square inches, the area that one block covers, I could use that conversion factor to get the number of blocks. So it would be a 2 conversion factor problem if I knew the area of one block. Well, I can get the area of one block from the dimensions of the block. It's a rectangle, so if I just multiply the length times the width, which of course is the same as the width times the length, 3 times 18, I would get 54 square inches. So that's how I got the 54 that I put in my conversion factor to go between square inches and a block. So once I've got the outline arranged and I've done the little separate computation up down here that I need to get this conversion factor, I set the problem up. It's pretty easy from here on. I simply use those conversion factors one after another. That's what these arrows indicate here, that I'm going to use a conversion factor here to convert my problem into square inches. Then I'm going to use another conversion factor. Each arrow indicates a conversion factor to get the number of blocks. So here's what it looks like. 200 square feet, the first conversion factor, which is the squared 12 inches in 1 foot. And remember that the 1 foot has got to be on the bottom so that you can cancel the square feet in the original 200 square feet. Always write these down, starting with the bottom factor, having the correct units to cancel the factor in front of it. All right, so I see how square feet would cancel out of my problem. Now, if I look at the problem right here, I am in square inches. So the next conversion factor has to be arranged so that the square inches are on the bottom so that it would cancel the square inches in the top of the previous fraction. So I do that, and it looks like it's all correctly arranged. The units cancel, square inches, square feet, cancel square feet. Remember, you've got to have one at the top of a fraction. Remember, and also remember that you could put a 1 underneath the 200. That square feet up here cancels the square feet down here. Same thing here. And the units that you're left with are blocks. That's what we wanted. That's why I wrote down the question mark at the beginning, just to make sure that I'm keeping track of the units that I want to end up with. I'm sure I've done the problem right. It looks good. So let's do the math. The 200 is going to get multiplied by 12 squared because this was a squared unit in here. The 1 from the 1 foot, I suppose you could have another 1 here if you wanted, everything on the bottom of the fraction will get multiplied by 54. So with my calculator, here's my trusty calculator with the Texas Instrument calculator. I guess I've already got it in there, but let's do it again. I want to put 200 in there, multiply it by 12 squared. So of course I could do that in various ways, but I could literally put some parentheses in there, put 12 in there, and square it, because there's a x squared button on a TI-83 Plus calculator. Put another parentheses in there, and now I know for sure the calculator will multiply 200 times 12 squared. And then I'm going to divide the result by 54. The ones, of course, don't do anything in a multiplication. So divide by 54. I think it's all set up. The screen shows me the correct math. And now I'm going to push enter. The answer is 533.33333. A lot of threes. Well, of course, we have to round this off. We can't buy 0.33333 blocks, but we could buy 533 blocks, if you thought that this original 200 square feet was slightly larger than you needed, or you could buy 554 blocks to be sure that you had enough to cover the area. Depends, of course, on the original computation of what the area is that you wish to cover. The dimensions of the blocks are pretty exact, and of course the number of square feet, or square inches I should say, in a square foot, that's exact. This number 144 is exact. So really it's up to you how you want to report this answer, but I suppose in practical terms it should be one more block to make sure you have got it covered.